With all the different labels on beef packages, it's easy to get confused. I think it's time we view beef through a new lens. Does it have a story or a secret? Welcome to the Local Beef Podcast. I'm your host, Nate Campbell. This podcast will introduce you to your local farms and ranches, as we also reveal some of Big Food's secrets along the way. I'm so excited to take you on this journey with me, so let's get started. Today, I'll be sharing my story and I'll highlight a few of these secrets. Back in 2015, my wife Julie and I followed our hearts and left our six-figure income in the city to start a ranch in Eastern Oregon. We both had some experience before we took this leap into ranching. I'd grown up watching my grandpa Tom raise cattle and sheep on our family ranch, while Julie grew up watching her cousin Clint on his family ranch. For 6 years, we raised our two young girls by building a life around livestock and the land. We hosted events on our property, sold grass-fed beef, and pastured poultry. It was an incredible experience, and it taught us a lot about life, but it also opened our eyes to some troubling realities. First, just how badly we've all been misled about where our food comes from. And second, just how difficult it is to operate a farm or ranch while also trying to sell farm products. That's why throughout this podcast, I'll be introducing you to farming and ranching operations across the United States. As we share ways that we can all support them, we'll explore their journeys from how they started to where they're headed. Before we dive in, I wanted to highlight a few of those secrets. Just like many industries today, the beef industry relies on cheap inputs, mass production, and imports. I'll start with those cheap inputs. In 2022, 175 million acres of land was planted in corn and soybeans. How much is 175 million acres, you ask? Well, if it was a state, it'd be the second biggest in the US, with over 3 million acres bigger than Texas, which is just under 172 million acres. Why should that matter when it comes to beef? Well, those crops are the main food source for cattle on factory farms. That land is tilled, replanted, and resprayed every year to regrow more corn and soybeans, which has devastating effects on the soil and environment. Remember that thing in history class called the Dust Bowl? Well, similar land practices caused it. Oh, and according to the FDA, 94% of soybeans and 92% of corn planted are GMO, which means Roundup ready. But not to worry though, on the FDA's website, you'll find their Feed Your Mind program. It explains how studies show that GMOs are safe for the people, the livestock, and the environment. My question to the FDA is, if it's not safe to breathe, how is it safe to eat? It makes me wonder who paid for those studies. In other news, Bayer, yes, the huge pharmaceutical company, paid out $10.9 billion in class action lawsuits over Monsanto's Roundup, the company they had purchased in 2018 for $66 billion. This merger made Bayer one of the largest pharmaceutical companies, pesticide companies, herbicide, and seed companies in the world. They control what we eat, spray on our food, the medicine we take. I think it should be talked about more, don't you? Most Americans think that the beef from the grocery store or from monthly subscription boxes is raised in the US. Well, that's just not the reality anymore. In 2022, America imported 3.39 billion pounds of beef. That's more than 3 times the weight of America's tallest building, the Freedom Tower, with nearly half from our neighbor from the north and half from the south in Mexico. 979 million pounds from Canada and 739 million pounds from Mexico, while the majority of grass-fed beef was imported from Australia. Yet, thanks to there being no country of origin labeling requirements for beef and pork, nearly everything sold in the stores is stamped with a product of the USA. You heard that right. Millions of products that we consume and use daily are required to disclose their country of origin labeling, but not beef and pork. Don't believe me? Next time you're at the store, grab a box of toothpicks, any box of toothpicks. I bet you'll see product of China on the back. Then go to the meat aisle and try to find one package of beef or pork that mentions any country besides the United States. The final secret I want to share with you is one of the main reasons I'm starting this podcast. Small farms have been disappearing for decades. If we look just back at just a 5-year period from 2017 to 2022, the total number of farms in the US was reduced by 141,733. That's 81 farms gone every day. We need to find a better way to support our local farms and ranches. And I believe that's through educating consumers and spreading the word about local beef. That's exactly why I started this podcast. So from the very beginning, this show will be sharing its sponsorship revenue with the farms and ranches that we discuss on each show. American farmers and ranchers need a voice. Together, let's make the Local Beef Podcast just that. To learn more and discover local farms in your area, visit localbeefpodcast.com. That's localbeefpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend. This is the Local Beef Podcast. Bye.